Hi, beautiful people. Welcome to yet another exciting episode of the Undiluted Truth podcast. I'm your host, Gina, and today in the studio, we've got this beautiful, talented lady all the way from Malawi. This lady has been through it all. She has experienced abuse, all the type of abuse that you can think of. She has been abused physically, emotionally, and she was also abused sexually. This lady has also endured a lot of betrayal from the people that she looked up to. Ladies and gentlemen, help me welcome Sibongile Piri. Hi, Sibo.
Hi guys. Thank you for having me here.
You're welcome.
Such a pleasure.
You look beautiful.
Thank you very much. And so do you.
You're glowing.
Thank you.
Yes. So,
Thank
Sibo,
you.
can you tell us a little bit about yourself and your background?
Well, as introduced, my name is Sibongile Pili, aka Sise Deluxe. I go by Sise. Most people call me Sibo. The people I grew up with, the people who know me. Yeah. I was born in Johannesburg, in Germiston. Yeah, in a family of 4. I have 2 sisters and 1 brother. Yeah. I grew up in Malawi,
Okay.
but I was born in Johannesburg. My parents died when I was 6 years old, the year 1999. So shortly after my mom died, my grandmother came for the funeral, and then she decided to go to Malawi with me, to take me with her. So yeah, I had to go with her, and then I stayed there for quite a long time, for 13 years throughout my childhood. Yeah.
Okay. So, in 1999, how old were you and your sisters?
I was 6 years old, but my sisters were a little bit older because I have like a 13-year-old gap with my elder sister. So they were a little bit older. They were teenagers at that time.
Okay.
Yeah.
And you had to move to Malawi because your parents had died. Did they all die at the same time, or may their dear soul rest in peace?
It was kind of close. I can say it was kind of close because when my dad died, it didn't take much time. My mommy also passed away.
And how did the death of your mother and your dad, since it was just from this death to the other death, how did it affect you? You were such a young girl. Did you understand death at that particular age, or you didn't know what was happening?
I actually didn't know much about death at that time. I don't even think I even cried when my mom passed away because I had a beautiful and loving family. My sisters were always there for me. My mom was always there. My daddy was always there. So like I had a beautiful childhood with beautiful people around me. So when they passed, actually, it did affect me, especially when I moved to Malawi because like it was just a lot happening at once. First of all, my parents have passed away while I'm still young. I'm trying to process that they are no longer here.
Yes.
And then I've been moved to somewhere where I don't
You know
nobody,
nothing.
man.
Yeah.
All
Yeah.
the people that care about me, that I care about, are not there. My sisters are not there. They were my best friends. They were everything to me. They're not there. I'm just literally around people I don't know, I've never met before, I've never seen before. So yeah, it was difficult.
It
for
was
me.
difficult for
Yeah.
you, and you were so young.
Yeah, and I was so young. So it was very, very difficult. I felt like when my parents died, there was something in me that died with them. That's what I can say about them passing. Yeah.
So, adapting to life in Malawi, when you got there, you were so young, and as you say that it was difficult. But how long did you stay in Malawi?
I stayed for 13 years because I went there in 1999 and I came back around 2013 when my sister called me to study. Yeah. But adapting to life, I can't say life was amazing. No, man. It was hard.
It was very
It
difficult.
was very, very difficult. It was very, very hard because like my grandmother wasn't working. There was no source of income. we were so financially unstable
Mm-hmm.
that we had to go to bed without eating. I had to go to school without eating. Ne? So it was it was kind of difficult for me,
For
to
you
say the
guys.
truth. And also realizing that at home I had everything. We would eat anything that I wanted because my mom was a designer. She was working, my daddy was working, and money wasn't a problem.
Yes, yes.
Money was nothing. Ne? I ate anything that I wanted to eat. My sisters bought me anything that I wanted to eat. In fact, when I was like 6 years old, I had no teeth because my sisters would feed me sweets and all
Yes,
treats that I
yes.
wanted. They would like take me out, buy me biscuits, buy me sweets and stuff. That I had rotten teeth because of so much love they were showing to me.
Mm-hmm.
And then I had to go somewhere where I had to struggle to get one
And
sweet.
at a young age,
see,
you don't understand
yeah,
what's
I don't
happening.
understand what's happening. I want something, it's not there. I want somebody, it's not there. You see, so it was so difficult.
So difficult.
Yeah.
But at this particular moment, did you not have relatives? Like in Joburg, where you were born, where you guys were staying with your dad and your mom, there were no relatives to check you guys in when your dad and your mom passed away.
No, it didn't take much time for me to go to Malawi because my grandmother just came
Mm-hmm.
to attend the funeral. Ne? After a short period of time, she didn't stay long. That's when she decided that she's taking me with her to Malawi.
Yes.
So from what I hear from my sister, because they were still teenagers, they also wanted support from parents and
Yes.
stuff.
Yes.
But I feel like they also struggled. Even though there were people around us and stuff, like family, they also struggled because, like, people can show up all full time for you and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
So, yeah.
So how long did you stay in Malawi?
I did stay for 13 years.
13 years.
Yes.
And then
13
you
years.
guys came back to South Africa, or you only came
No,
back?
my sisters didn't go with me. I was the only child who went to Malawi with my grandmother. My sisters were here.
Or your
living.
sisters stayed?
Yeah, they stayed.
Who
here.
did they stay with behind?
They stayed. I think they stayed with my aunt,
Mm-hmm.
and then they stayed. Yeah, they rented and stayed by themselves.
Okay. And then when you came back, did you come back to your sisters, or where did you stay when you came back to South Africa?
When I came back in 2013, I came back to my sister,
Okay.
and also, I think it took a whole lot of discussion for me to come back to my sisters. We are not in good terms because there was a communication breakdown between them and I. There was a communication barrier. First of all, I had no phone.
Okay.
Okay? We had to talk through somebody's phone.
Mm-hmm.
Okay?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. And also, we didn't talk frequently. It was like, it took months and months for us to like have a phone call or something, or to talk. Yeah, so we were like completely apart. No communication whatsoever.
But you mentioned earlier on that you and your sisters were in a good relationship just soon after your parents passing.
Before I left, when we were together as a family.
So
we
what
had a
then
good
happened to that relationship that was so beautiful like that? What happened? What took place? Walk us through what happened between you guys.
Yeah, it was like, it wasn't like it was personal, like breakdown of things, ne?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. But it was because of communication. There was a barrier in communication between me and them.
Mm-hmm.
For the fact that I had no phone. Ne? And also we are like 1,000 miles apart.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, it was the distance especially that made us to be like estranged.
Yes,
Yeah.
yes. And when you came back to South Africa, you said you were, how old were you?
I think I was like 23 years in 2013. I think I was 23 years.
So
or 20 years.
So you did your primary school and your second
Yeah.
school in Malawi.
Yeah, I did start my primary school here
Mm-hmm.
in Johannesburg at Pumelela Primary School. And then I left while I was in grade 1 to Malawi.
Yes.
And then I did my primary school there, my secondary school there. And then at the time when I started applying for colleges and stuff, universities, I had no money to go to school.
Yeah.
My sisters were like not working and stuff. They are trying to figure out life also.
Mm-hmm.
I had no financial support. Okay, I would have gone to the university because I got lucky that I was selected to some of the government schools.
Mm-hmm.
Like I applied at the health sciences for nursing. And I got lucky. They picked me there.
So you would say, sorry to interrupt you, you would say you were a smart kid, because I know they wouldn't pick just, random kids.
I was a smart kid.
So you were,
Yeah. I was a smart kid.
Okay.
And they picked me up, and I applied also for teaching with my friend. And then we were both picked up in Mulanje, teaching school, whatever. But then I couldn't go because I had no money.
Yes.
And they wanted.
And by that time, sorry to interrupt you, by that time, who was looking after you?
My grandmother.
Your grandmother?
Yes.
Okay. So what then transpired? How did you then leave your grandmother and come to SA? What happened? Why did you leave?
Yeah, the main reason why I left it because there was also this kind of, what can I call it? This kind of feud between me and my grandmother and the people I was staying with.
Yes.
Okay? Because I had no money to go to school. First of all, I was furious because I had no money to attend school and further my education.
Yes.
Apart from that, my grandmother had no money to fund me.
Okay. Yes.
I asked my sisters for money, but at the end of the day, they couldn't send me money because they are also going through their own things in life.
Yes.
They are trying to figure out life. So they couldn't send me money, and it was a lot of money. They were not working. They were also, I think they went back to school at the time. I think my sister was also at college, at nursing college. And also I think my other sister was doing engineering. So they also wanted money, you see. So they couldn't help me out with money to further my education. My grandmother can't help me out with money to further my education. And now I'm just sitting there doing nothing. That's when I had to talk to my sister, my elder sister Isabel, and I talked to her that I really want to school. Can you please share me money so that I can go to school? And she told me the truth that I can't afford to send you all that amount of money.
Yes.
Because I am also going
struggling
through this.
Yes.
I'm also going to school and stuff. I need also money, so I can't help you with that. But then she came up with this idea that maybe you should come here because here there are bursaries and stuff. You can get a bursary and further your education and stuff.
So that's how you came to South Africa?
That's when I came here, and she did the whole process. The passport, the transport, and then I came back to stay with her so that I can continue with my education.
Okay. And you mentioned that you and Granny had issues. What kind of issues were you having with Granny? Would you say that you were a naughty child when you were growing? Or maybe losing your parents made you somehow?
Yeah, I can say that losing my parents made me somehow rebellious.
Yes.
But then, with everything that I had to go through and endure, like I couldn't process it. I couldn't process everything that I had to go through in Malawi. First of all, I went there as a child. Growing up, people took advantage because like I'm that child, I don't have parents and stuff. So people around me took advantage of that.
You do not have anyone to look.
Yeah, to like protect me and stuff. Like
people would just do what they want with you because
with
no one is gonna stand up for you.
No, there's nobody who's gonna stand up for me. And when I tried to explain, what hurt me most is that I would go through some other things, and I'm trying to explain to my grandmother, whoever I'm staying with in my house, but they are not taking this thing seriously.
Yeah.
And then it's just eating me. It's just eating me inside. It's eating me up. So I don't know how to react now.
Yes.
I don't know how to react. And then it got me depressed. Now I'm depressed. I am stressed out. I am doing all sorts of things just to relieve the pain that I'm going through.
How is the relationship with your grandmother? Do you guys still talk? Do you communicate? Do you go visit your grandmother? Is she still alive? What's the update?
Yes, my grandmother is very much alive. We do communicate here and there. It's not an everyday thing or stuff. We communicate here and there. Okay? She prays for me and stuff. Yeah. But when it comes to like whatever happened in the past, I'm learning to let it go.
Okay.
Yeah. I'm learning to let it go because like I did forgive, but it's hard to forget things like that. Yeah. So I can say I'm in good terms with her. But with myself and forgetting everything, That's where I'm working.
Okay, so you would say you were still learning to forgive her?
I am still learning to forget. I forgave her. Long time.
Also, you did forgive her. Now
Yeah,
it's
but
just
I'm
a
just
matter of
learning
forgetting.
to forget and let it go because it comes back sometimes.
But then, if you don't talk to her, who is looking after her? Who is talking to her?
She stays with my aunt and
So,
my aunt's children.
so they are fine.
Yeah, they are fine.
In your depression times, or whenever you struggled with depression, did you by any chance feel like you want to end it? Did you by any chance felt like suicidal? Or
Yeah, I did.
and
I
did you
did.
attempt to
Do it.
Yeah.
Yes, I did. And many times
how many times did you attempt to commit suicide?
yo, it was kind of lot. It was kind of lot. And I tried so many times. And I even regret because like I was blaming my grandmother for being poor. Like I said poor because she had no money at all.
Yeah.
No, not even an account.
Yes.
So I blamed her for like, why did you have to pick me up from my sisters and bring me here so that I can go through these things, man?
Mm-hmm.
Why didn't you just leave me struggle with the people I can relate to? Yeah, because me and my sisters had the same problem, man. We both lost our parents. We are both going through the same things. We can console each other because we know each other's pain. But why would you take me there, bring me here, where I know nobody, and I'm struggling? I don't have anybody to talk to.
But did you by any chance feel like your grandmother was protecting you from Joburg? You were young, your sisters were young, and maybe, just maybe, your auntie didn't want to stay with a lot of people. She couldn't have handled 3 kids. I mean, your aunt, didn't she have your own kids?
At that time, she had no kids. She had her kids while I was there with her. But then she was also not working. So I couldn't understand the reason behind taking me to a place when you know you are not financially stable, you don't have money to take care of something. And also, which brings me to this thing, like, if you know you are struggling, why would you take somebody to struggle with you? Why can't you just leave that person struggle on their own? You see? So to me, it was kind of, I grew up questioning myself like that because there was this other time, I was in an argument with my grandmother. And I told her, why can't you just take me back to where you picked me up from? Why? Why am I here with you? And then she said some other things that were mean to me. But then at the end of the day, I couldn't understand. I was questioning myself or that. And that also made me
Do you mind sharing what she said to you?
Yeah, she said that, like, do you think we don't ask people from where you come from to take you back? We do ask them to take you back, but nobody wants you. That's what she said.
And how did that make you feel?
It made me feel bad. It made me feel bad.
I can only imagine someone telling you that no one wants you. I mean, that's
what she said. So like, it did hurt me. Most of the things that people I was staying with around me, they always said mean things. And then I would act up on those ways because they kept on coming back to me. Yeah. And also that's what led to me being suicidal, because I would think of these things like, these people don't want me. Like, why would you say this to me? Why would you be this mean to me?
That's so mean. I cannot imagine someone saying they do not want you, and you're just a child.
Yeah.
You have no one. You lost your parents.
You see. So then by the age of 13, I think that's when I got more depressed. And I think I was close to going to secondary school. At the age of 13, I got depressed. I was so depressed. And the problem is that in Malawi, I don't think people really take depression seriously. Because I would show that I'm depressed.
What were the signs that
I was cutting myself when I was like 12, 13 years old. I was cutting myself.
On the hand, on the legs?
On my wrists.
Yeah.
On my hands. I would cut myself because like I was going through so much pain emotionally. So to me, cutting myself was like, maybe I should feel this pain, maybe physically.
Physical pain.
So that maybe it's going to heal me. At least I'm going to feel lighter, I'm going to feel lighter emotionally if I feel the physical pain. You see? Yeah. So I started cutting myself. And at that time, I met this other friend of mine. I think I was in Form 2A. So I met this other friend of mine. By that time, I would literally stay at her place the whole day.
And then you would go home
Go
late.
home at night, late at night.
And when you get home, what would your granny ask or
At first, she would
say
ask
to you?
me. At first, she would ask me. She would beat me up. Sometimes they would tell me, "You're not gonna eat today because, like, where were you and stuff." But at least I would sacrifice the beating than to stay around people who I don't feel like I'm loved. I'd rather stay with someone else I feel like appreciated, knowing that I'm gonna suffer that pain like for some hours, and most of it I'll be asleep at night. In the morning, I would do the same thing. I would just wash the plates and then I would leave. I'll come back later on at night. And that was going on like that. Throughout my teenage life, I lived like that. I didn't live at home. I lived in my friends' places. People's houses.
Because you were running away.
Yeah, I was
but
running away.
Was it that bad at home? Because granny is just, don't you think that granny also was depressed, losing her? Whose granny is this? Is this from your mother's side or
from my mother's side?
So don't you think granny was also depressed by losing her child?
She was depressed because mostly each and every day she would pray. And when she's praying, she would pray for my mother's spirit, my mother's soul to rest in peace and stuff, or something like that, which was kind of hard also for me. It was really hard. She was going through it also. She was depressing. I can't lie. The death of my mother, I think it got to her like a lot.
It took
because
a toll on
my mother
anyone.
was the only person who was supporting her. So now she's gone.
Now
she has nobody to support her, to look
So
after
don't you
her.
feel like if you and Granny had become a tag team, you guys would have made it in life?
I feel like so, but now my grandmother wasn't communicating at all. She only talked to me when she wanted to shout, or maybe I made a mistake or something like that. She wouldn't talk. She wouldn't like sit down and talk anything. I don't even remember having a conversation with my grandmother.
Yeah.
So like we were like distant. That's what I can say.
So Sibo, you mentioned earlier on that in Malawi when you were staying with Granny, Granny was so poor, she couldn't afford even to feed you sometimes. So how did you manage to go to school? Who paid for the school fees? Or maybe schools in Malawi for free? Do you guys have free education in Malawi?
Yes. Primary school, secondary school, of course you pay fees, but in primary school, I managed to get into a government school. It was for free. Yeah, and we would walk to school. It was quite far, but we would walk every day. And luckily, when I was in standard 8 in Malawi, that's grade, grade 9 or grade 10. Luckily, I got lucky. I was selected at one of the government secondary schools.
Wow.
Yeah, what did we call this? Ndera Hill Secondary School.
Okay.
Yeah, I was selected in Ndera Hill Secondary School. That's where I continued my education. But then I had to stay one term at home because I had no money to go to school. But then I was active at church. Okay? I was active. I was going to CCAP, which is a Presbyterian church. Ne? So yeah, I was active there at church. So my grandmother had to take me with her to church to ask for fees. We went there to ask for fees from the reverend or the pastor there.
Yes.
So we went
was your grandmother a member of the church?
Yes, she was a member of the church. Yeah, she was also one of the women who were very active at church. So we went there to ask, and then he told us that, okay, we're gonna talk with the elders of the church, and then we'll see what we're gonna do about it.
Yeah.
Okay, but you have to wait for us. We'll update you. And then we had to wait. We sat there outside our church at Makada CCP church.
Yeah.
We sat outside waiting for them to talk. And then they talked up until around 12 midnight.
You were still sitting outside?
Yeah, sitting outside waiting for them to talk.
Why didn't you go home earlier on?
No, we had to wait to really listen so that they should know that we are desperate. We need that money for fees. So we stayed outside. We sat outside waiting for them to talk, and they talked until midnight. And then they came out and they told us, you know what? Because this girl is active in the Sunday school choir, she does competitions for the church and stuff, for the verses and whatever. I was also in the drama club and stuff. She's here every weekend doing this and that. We gonna pay for her school fees.
And that was a relief to you, right?
I was really.
But how did you get home? 12 midnight. How did you guys?
We walked.
Was it a walking distance?
Yeah, it was a walking distance. We walked. It was kind of dangerous because our area was there and it's dangerous. But then we walked back home. I walked with my grandmother. At that time, she was walking nicely. Then we walked back home.
And then from there, you went back to school?
Yes, I went back to school in the
Finished.
second term. I went back to school, but then I didn't feel like, to say the truth, in my mind, because of the bad things that I used to hear each and every day, I wasn't really motivated to go on with my school. In my mind, I told myself that no, school is not my thing.
What did you want to do then?
Actually, nothing, because I knew that nobody's going to fund me or provide me with fees and stuff if I'm struggling to get. It was like 1,700 kwacha at that time, the fees.
But no one would give you that money.
I don't even know how to convert it in rands, because it's like, I don't know whether it's 7 rand or whatever.
So no one could afford
money.
No one could afford 7 rand.
I'm telling you, it was little money. But then nobody would afford to pay for me. I had to go and stay at the church till late to get school fees. In my mind, I knew that no, man. I know for sure that if I'm struggling to get fees, it's gonna be hard for me to go on with school. So literally, school was never my first priority in life. I didn't even know what I was gonna do with life. In fact, in my mind, I told myself maybe I'm not gonna get to 18 or 19. Maybe I'm gonna be dead at that time. So
what made you feel like you're gonna be dead?
Because that's what I was hoping for.
So you wanted to die?
Yeah, I really wanted to die.
Because you were depressed.
And everything that I was going through each and every day. And also to think that when I went home, it wasn't only the people I was staying with that I felt like they never paid attention, they neglected me or whatever. But also we had a neighbor. This neighbor, it was actually my grandmother's friend. Then he had this child of his who was always stalking me and doing these other things to me that I didn't even like. I even explained it to my grandmother. Then boom, nothing happened, man. Nothing happened, and the guy
so
felt
you
like
saying
it was okay to do that.
How old was this boy or guy?
It wasn't a boy. It was a man, grown man.
How old was he?
Maybe at that time, maybe he was close to his 20s.
20, so a 20-year-old.
Not 20, 20-something, late 20s.
Or in his late 20s. And how old were you by then?
I was like 13 years old.
And then how did you, why was he coming to your house?
He would pass by our house and then do these little signs and stuff. Like, at first I thought like maybe that's how he is. Then when I grew older, he's making those tendencies.
Yeah, he was
those moves that he likes me and stuff. And I'm like, wow. And the sad thing, he was also married at that time with a child. And then it didn't stop there.
You told your grandma?
Yes, I told her.
And she didn't say anything?
She didn't do any.
Did you by any chance tell your grandmother's friend, the mother of the boy?
No. And I don't think my grandmother told the friend, because they were like somehow close.
So tight.
Yeah, not so tight, but somehow they were like close. We went to the same church and the Lord. And then I don't think like she talked to her friend like, tell your son or whatever. That's when I knew like I got nobody, man.
So did this guy ever stop? Did he stop? How did he stop?
He moved.
And that I'm sure that was a relief for you.
That's when I got a relief.
So this guy never touched you? He did.
Man.
He only made passes at you?
He was stalking me. He did touch me where he's not supposed to touch me and stuff.
But how did he touch you? Where were you guys when he touched you? Were you at his house or were you?
No, maybe at night. Maybe I will remember this. Okay, let me just explain this specific time when I got so afraid, like that. No man, this has gone too far.
Yes.
Ne? This other time, because at our house we didn't have electricity, so I had to go to
Their house.
to buy paraffin for the lamp. Ne?
Okay, yes, yes.
So every time he knew that every night I'm gonna go by the main road to buy paraffin, and then he would stalk me because I'm going there. He knows that I'm gonna pass that way when going to the what? When going to buy paraffin.
Yes.
Ne? And then he would come and stalk me. I just found out that this person is like holding me tight. What is going on? What are you doing, man?
What time was it?
At night, because I would go maybe around 6-7 to go buy paraffin and stuff.
But why were you going late? Why, as a young girl, why didn't you go buy paraffin during the day?
I think our area was much communal, so like there was no much danger. But this person now is the one that made me like feel insecure and stuff. Yeah. And then there was this other time now. I didn't know that he's like stalking me, because at that time I was like, maybe he was going his own way. Maybe he just made me here.
Yes.
But then I realized that this person is literally stalking me, because I went outside the house. I'm going to the toilet. I went to the toilet. I'm opening the toilet, because in Malawi the toilets are outside, man.
Yeah.
I'm opening the toilet. He's inside there.
In your toilet?
In our toilet. Like,
doing
what are you doing in the toilet, man? And then he grabbed me in the toilet, trying to push me inside the toilet. You see, that's when I realized, God, I'm in danger.
Did you scream?
I screamed and I left. I ran to the house. And at that time, my grandma already explained to my grandmother what this guy was doing and stuff. You know what? When I got home, I was literally crying, and I wanted to explain to my grandma, and there's something telling me, no. Even if you explain, nothing's gonna happen, man. It's not like she's gonna do anything. So I had to keep it inside, and you have nobody to tell those things about. And luckily enough, this person was just harassing me sexually.
Yeah. Like,
it wasn't like actual rape, but that day he would have done it.
If you didn't scream.
If I didn't scream and managed to run away. He even tore my clothes when I was running away. He tore my clothes. You see. So I was like,
why didn't you go and report him to his wife?
I couldn't do that because the person was also close to the family. They were so close to the family, I couldn't explain anything about this. That's why I'm saying that things like this, you don't have anybody to tell. Then they are eating you up inside. What do you do now? You become depressed. You have nobody to share these things with. And nobody takes you serious that this person is going through it. Nobody. Only your friends, and they are your age. What are they going to do?
So that was the only incident that happened in Malawi.
Mm-mm. And also there was this woman,
Mm-hmm.
And it's very sad because, like, how can you get raped by a woman?
Really?
Like this, you know what? And I didn't even know that it was actual rape. You see, I thought, how?
How old was this woman?
Like, I think she was in her 20s. She was staying with her sister, and she was also close to the family. That's when I said that, like, you had nobody to explain these things to, man.
And then what walk us through what happened with this woman? Did you go to her house?
No, she is the one who came to my house, and she would ask my aunt and my grandmother that, no, you know what, can I please go with this girl at our house? My sister is not around, and so I am afraid.
And because also you didn't like
staying at home. I
you
took
would
it as
say
an advantage.
yes, you would agree.
Yeah, I would agree. I don't want to stay here by myself. I want to take her so that we can pass the night together. Then when I go there, this woman is busy, man. Is busy. And the funny thing is, nobody noticed because the things that she did to me, I thought maybe it's love. I thought maybe it's just It's just love.
So
like,
did this woman kiss you, touch you?
all those kind of things, man. And then when I went back home, I would do the same thing with my grandmother. But she didn't notice. She didn't notice that this girl, she's going through this with this. They didn't even notice it. And I thought it was like innocent, man. I thought it was innocent. And then later on, that's when I realized, like, wow, so that girl took advantage of me. Really?
And how did it stop? How did it end? What happened?
She also moved. I only got a chance when these people moved.
But then when it happened, did you continue? You went back. You kept going back to your house.
Yeah. She would come and pick me up this day, maybe, ne? Okay, I'll sleep at her house. In the morning, she'll return me home, ne? I'll go home in the morning.
The whole night, this lady would touch you.
Do things like that.
How old were you?
I think at that time I was like 8 or 9, 10 years. Ne? And she was doing all those kind of things.
And what were your reaction? What would you say to this lady?
I didn't say anything, man. That's it, because I was like so young, so innocent. I don't know these things. I don't know what she's doing. You see? And when I get home, I feel like it's the normal thing. I'm like, why doesn't she do this to me? She has to do this to me. And then I'm busy touching my grandmother, the breast and stuff, thinking it's a normal thing. Eh?
And how did she take it, your grandmother?
No, she just thought maybe I'm just a child or I'm just kidding. She didn't even mind that I'm doing that. She was like, it's just a normal thing. And I knew that. Do you know how I knew that it was wrong? It was wrong.
Yes.
Do you know how I knew that? I knew it because I knew it through this woman at school.
Mm.
You know? She was one of the lecturers at school.
Mm.
She had a position there at school. She was our course manager. She was a very, very good lady. So this woman, we started talking and sharing things. At that time, I was also depressed.
Yes.
I was going through it that time because, like, I've been depressed throughout my life.
Your childhood, yes.
Throughout my childhood, my adulthood, depressed. And then she met me in the hallways. And then she started talking to me. And also because I was doing very well at school. Like, I was the highest in most of the subjects. Highest, level 2, level 3, level 4. I was the highest at school. So, like, this other time, she saw me walking in the hallways. I was sad. I was down. She started talking to me. Then we started talking. And I told her that growing up, this. And I think I'm not well because, like, I'm used to being sad. I grew up being sad. Now I don't know how to be happy. You see, sometimes I would be cool, but then something will come up and then I'll be like, something is going on. Okay, I wanted to apply for medicine. I wanted to change courses to go from hospitality and then apply for what? For medicine.
Yeah.
So before I went to medicine, I was like, you know what? Let me just do a little research on these things. I can just dive into these things because my sister is doing this. Because she's the one who just I was convinced because of her.
Yes.
Like, I was like, my sister is a nurse. I can do this. I can be a nurse. And then I started doing researches. I would watch these movies and stuff, like The Good Doctor, New Amsterdam, and whatever. They mainly talk about all sorts of diseases.
Yes.
Everything that comes in people's lives and everything. Then while I was watching that, I saw the very same scenario that this woman did to me. All this time, I thought it was okay. And in fact, I forgot about it. Because to me, it was like, it's normal, man. It's just normal. Ne? And then, in fact, in my life, I thought this woman loved me more than my grandmother. That's what I was thinking. I don't know, my grandmother didn't love me. This woman loved me because when I go to her house, this is how she pampered me.
But, sorry to cut you, at school, when you were still in primary, they were not teaching you guys that you should not let anyone, because us in Zimbabwe, we used to have this song, no one should touch you, no one should.
That's the problem.
Yeah.
In Malawi, because in Malawi, like, the only sexual things that we think about is only between a man and a woman. We don't even think that a man can do things to another man, can rape another man, or a woman can rape a man, or a woman can rape another woman. Ne? In Malawi, we view things as a man is only a man who can rape a woman.
Yeah.
Ne?
Yeah.
And also like these sexual things, reproductive and stuff, we start learning them later on. I don't know now, but back then I reached standard 8, but I didn't know the sexual reproduction.
Okay.
We didn't learn about these things. So growing up, I didn't know nothing about these things. I didn't know nothing. So by watching this movie and stuff,
You got to learn a lot.
that's when I realized, oh damn, that woman took advantage of me,
you.
really. She was doing these things. It wasn't love.
And did you ever get to contact or tell this lady even up to today?
No. In fact, I really don't want to talk to her. Like, of course, she approached me on Facebook and stuff. Yeah, no man.
And how is she? Is this woman a lesbian now, or she's married with kids?
No, she is married. She has kids, but I don't think she's married. She has kids. And also in Malawi, I think this same-sex thing, it's
a taboo.
It's a taboo and stuff. Like, people get arrested and stuff. I think you get 14 years or something in prison. I don't know now, because I left Malawi about 10 years ago. So, like, I don't know how laws work.
So if you would have known by then that what this woman is doing to you is wrong, you could have reported her.
I would have reported.
Okay.
But I didn't know it was wrong. In fact, growing up in Malawi, I didn't even know that, like, we have same-sex relationships and stuff. I knew it later on when I came here. And it's not long. It's maybe in 2013, because that's when I came here. 2013, that's when I realized, so a man and a man can be in a relationship, a woman and a woman can be. I didn't know that things like that happen.
And then when you came to South Africa, did any of that sort happen this side? Or did anyone?
No.
So in your life, it was only those 2 incidents?
Yeah. It was only those 2 incidents. And also, I feel like a whole lot of people would take advantage. I was lucky enough because, like, I would run away and stuff, but, like, how can you live a life like that?
So in your life, you were saying you were raped by another woman. And I was harassed. I was sexually harassed by a man. And it wasn't only once or twice, but it was many occasions where this guy would try to rape me. Ladies and gentlemen, this is a tough one. Yeah, I do not know why people take advantage of kids, and I cannot speak on them, but I do hope that those people rot in hell. Anyway, moving on. Walk us through your journey to South Africa. When you came back to South Africa, you said you were 23, right?
Yeah, I think I was 20 years old.
20?
Yeah.
And you stayed with your sisters?
Yes.
And then what happened? How was the relationship with your sisters? And also from there, what did you do?
Well, when I came back, the main reason why I came back was to go back to school. Yeah, because, in Malawi, I couldn't go to school, no bursaries, no financial support or whatever. So I had to come here, and they offered to support me. They offered to pay for my school fees. They offered. In fact, we had a conversation. We had a conversation.
So you and your sisters had a good relationship?
Yeah, we had a good relationship. I stayed with one of my sisters, and then we had a conversation. We had to catch up. All the 13 years we were apart.
So the 13 years that you guys were apart, that is what made the relationship.
Yes.
And then when you guys got back together, it actually
rekindled everything.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. And then when you stayed, did you go back to school? What did you do?
Actually, my sister processed everything so that I should go back to school. Now, there was a shocking thing that happened. Because at that time, I didn't know my real name. I didn't know my date of birth. Like, that's what I'm saying. That, like,
how is that possible? Because what name were you using in Malawi?
I was using Sibongile. It's my real name. It's not my real name, man.
Who gave you that name?
It was my mother's friends who gave me that name because they couldn't pronounce my name.
And what is your name?
My name is Taonga.
Taonga. And your
I
surname?
think it's a Tonga name. Taonga Piri.
So your surname is still Piri, but your name is not
but my
Sibongile.
name wasn't Sibongile.
Then why are you still using the name Sibongile?
Because it got into me. It got into me. I grew up people calling me that.
Let's talk about South Africa. When you then moved to South Africa, did you continue? You said your sister looked for, enrolled you in school, and then what happened after you did go?
They tried to enroll me in school because they wanted me now to stand up by myself, because I explained some of the other things, but some of the things I didn't explain. They would see that I'm mentally disturbed, something is wrong and stuff, but they couldn't figure out what the problem is. Yeah, because
and what was, sorry to cut you, your depression there, did it, when you left Malawi, did it get better? Were you okay mentally?
No, it didn't get better.
Did you stop cutting yourself?
I did stop cutting myself because I didn't want my sister to think that maybe there's something wrong with me. I tried to keep up to be that person because I didn't want them to worry about me. And also when I came here, these people, it's been a long time since we've been together and stuff. I am trying my level best to be in their good books. I'm trying my level best so that we can rekindle our relationship.
Yeah.
We can be in good terms. And these people are helping me build my future. But I was troubled inside. I mean, my sister would see that I'm troubled inside.
And by that time, obviously, you were old. Did you start drinking? Did you take any?
No, I wasn't into those things, Or even when I was in Malawi, many people, when they are going through it, they tend to get to drugs, drinking, smoking and stuff, But I never got into those things. They were not my thing. The only thing that I dealt with in my mind, I told myself that, you know what, I would talk to my friends mostly. I would talk to my friends.
So when you talk to your friends, you would feel better?
Yeah, I would feel better because I met good friends and they cared about me. They would cry with me and stuff. So that gave me a relief. And also mostly because I spent my time in people's houses. You see, I was not at home. So at least there. Yeah.
Okay. And then after that, what happened to you? What happened to your life? I mean, after when you stayed with your sister and then school?
Yeah, when I came here to study, the problem was that because my grandmother didn't communicate it with me, I didn't know my real name. I didn't know my real birth date, you see. So when I came here, it turned out that I'm completely a different person from the one in Malawi. On my certificates saying another thing. Here on my birth certificate, it's another thing. Because my sisters kept my birth certificate and stuff because they knew I would need it sometime. So when I came here, everything is different. What now? I'm trying to enroll in school. They told me that you can enroll in school with this paper because these are completely two people. There's a different birth date, different names. What if you just stole this certificate from someone else?
Yeah, that's
you are showing us you are trying to steal someone's identity.
Yeah.
And then what?
So they needed proof.
Yeah, they needed proof.
But what kind of proof?
Now
like an affidavit or something?
It couldn't have worked. Now I had to go back and write again. Oof. So I had to go back home to write again my MSCE exams, my MSc exams.
And you did that?
And I went back, I wrote again.
You stayed with Granny again?
Yeah, I went back to stay with her again. And the trouble was there again.
So you went back and you stayed there for a year?
For a year. And then after that year, I was supposed to come back and start schooling. But then another thing also happened.
What happened?
Because I'm supposed to come and stay with my sister. My sister is the one who promised, if you go there, I'm going to pay for your fees. I'm going to help you out to come here and study as I promised you. Okay, I went there. Now people are calling them and telling them some other story because that was also the other problem. The people I was staying with, they always called my sisters and tell them this kind of lies. You know what? Sibo is doing this here. Sibo is drinking. Sibo is smoking. Sibo is going into clubs. He's coming home and really, what clubs are you talking about? Now my
Maybe
sister,
you had started dating. Were you dating? You were going out with your
at
boyfriend?
at a later stage, I think I was like 16 years old. And I started dating late, man. Like as usual, as my friends would do it. Because I had a lot going on. I need to think about school. I need to think about the condition of my place where I'm staying.
Mm-hmm.
I had a lot in mind. And I have to think about the food that I'm not eating, the punishment that I'm getting at home.
So the person who slept with you for the first time, it was this woman.
Yes, while I was a child.
Okay.
Yeah.
And then the person who took out your virginity, it was the woman.
Yes. So yeah.
That's a lot to unpick.
So yeah, after that, I think when I came back, when I went to Malawi, there was also loss of communication between me and my sisters.
Yeah.
I literally gave up on school and everything. I was like, nah, it's not gonna work. It's not gonna work. I really wanted to. I thought maybe by this time.
So you had settled for a life in Malawi by then?
Not settled as such, because of the conditions that I was facing at home. I had to run away from home.
Where did you go? Where did you
I
go?
went to stay with my friend.
So these friends of yours, they were...
A friend. It was only one.
Is it a man?
No, a woman.
A woman.
Yeah, she was my best friend. She's the one who took me in. She told me, you know what, with whatever you're going through, just come and stay with me, because it seems like you are not going back to SA and study. There's no communication between you and your sisters and people. I feel like people said a whole lot of things to make my sisters feel like they don't have to continue with whatever we planned to do. So I had to run away from home because I couldn't take it anymore. I went to stay with my friend. I ran away from home. I didn't even say bye. What I did, the first thing when my friend told me, you know what, come and stay with me, I took it. I just told her, you know what, thank you. I ran home, started packing my things. My grandmother asked me, why are you packing everything? Where are you going? Like, no, I'm going to stay with my friend. That's all I can tell you. I'm going.
So did you got married by any chance in Malawi? Did you have a husband?
Not in Malawi. I got married here.
So then you came back again after
Yes.
staying. After staying with your friend.
After staying with my friend,
Did it work out?
Huh?
Did it work?
Yes, it did. After staying with my friend,
Where is your friend now?
She stays in Durban.
Okay.
She's working in Durban. But at that time, she was in Malawi. She was working in some of these hotels. She was doing hospitality as well. So yeah, she was working. That's why she took me in. She could take care of me. And also she was married. She was staying with her husband at that time. So yeah, she took care of me. Or both of them took care of me. They gave me food, clothes, place to sleep and stuff. Yeah, so when they told me, go take your things and come stay with us, I went straight home, packed my things, went there and stayed with them. Yeah, while I was staying with them, another friend of mine introduced me to my husband now.
Okay.
Yeah. So we were talking, she was already here in Cape Town.
And he's from Malawi?
Yeah, he's also from Malawi. So we were communicating with this friend of mine. So she told me, there is a man here.
So when you, sorry to cut you. When you moved from Malawi, you came straight to Cape Town?
Yeah, I came straight to Cape Town to my husband.
Oh, so you met in Malawi, or you started talking when you were in Malawi?
We started talking when I was in Malawi.
And he sent you money to come to Cape Town?
to stay with him, to join him.
How did you trust this man? You know it's hard to trust men. How did you, what made you feel like this one is...
Yeah, because the person who referred me to him is a very close friend also. We grew up together and stuff. And I knew in my heart that she wouldn't...
give you someone who is dodgy. Who is
dangerous and stuff. Yeah.
So how did the relationship go?
Well, it worked out nicely.
Or the marriage, how was it?
The marriage was nice and everything. But the problem was me. I had issues.
You were still depressed?
Yeah, I was still going through it because my main motive in life was maybe to go and stay with my sisters and continue with what we planned, continue with my education, continue with doing whatever we planned to do. But then things didn't work out. I was so disappointed. That's when I came back, when I came to stay with my husband, my heart was still there. was still there. I still wanted to go and do my school and do this and that. Yeah.
Okay. And then what did you do in your marriage to make it not to work? How did you contribute in the ending of your marriage?
I think I had anger issues.
Was this guy a good man?
He was a good man, I can lie.
Mm-hmm.
He took care of me,
Mm-hmm.
provided as a husband should.
Mm-hmm.
But then I had anger issues. Sometimes, when you are depressed and when you have mood swings and stuff,
Mm-hmm. It's hard.
it's hard. And for someone to deal with that every day, I could understand, like, you can't be dealing with that every day.
Mm-hmm.
So, like, with my issues and stuff, I think that's what led to us being in those kind of terms.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. But then, after some time, I had a child, but then we went our separate ways after that.
So how long did you stay in this marriage?
It was 2016, and in 2020, that's when we separated. Yeah.
Okay. And it's in 2016 and then you separated in 20?
Yeah, in 2020, we separated. In 2022, we discussed that maybe we should, like, take care of child together and stuff. But I don't know, man. Yeah.
So how would you describe your depression journey? Would you say you are healing? Would you say you're still stuck? Would you say you just take one day at a time?
I can say I'm healing because I've met good people in my life
Mm-hmm.
who has helped me a lot.
Mm-hmm.
At first, I didn't know there was anything you could do about it. I thought maybe when you are depressed, it's just your life. You just wait to die,
Mm-hmm.
man.
That's
Then I realized that if you're around people who really care about you, it helps. And also when I moved out of the marriage, at that time I wasn't doing anything at all. Over the 4 years that I was staying in South Africa, I didn't do nothing. I wasn't working. I was just sitting at home. And then when I left the marriage, that's when some new ideas came into my mind. Like, you know what? I think I can study. I think I can go and roll school, find something else to do than just sitting and expecting maybe someone to marry me again and stuff. That's when I started looking for schools, searching online, groups and stuff where they help people, single mothers and stuff. And luckily, I found this organization that helps single mothers and people who are struggling to get studies.
Mm-hmm.
And then I found this organization. It was in Delft.
Mm-hmm.
And then I went there. That's when I started my journey, my healing journey. I think it started with that, with me opening up to new things. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
When I went to this school to study, I went there to do hospitality, the basics of hospitality, of cooking, of cookery. That's when I started healing. I met people there. We talked and we shared a whole lot of things. And after that, I was like, no, I think I should apply to further my education. This is not the end. I can do more. So from there, I applied to Northlink College. And luckily, I found a place there. Yeah. I got a place. That's when I continued my studies there at Northlink. Yeah, that's when my healing journey started. And there, I met wonderful lecturers. That's when they talked to me and stuff. That's when I started my healing journey there. Mm-hmm. And they directed me to a therapist and stuff. Yeah. And also I had friends at school. Some students who helps other students who are going through it. I met people there and they helped me a lot. I can say that me opening up to new ideas, me opening up to new things, that's helped me heal.
That has, yes. Because I think you had closed.
I was closed.
You had made this
wall,
box,
this wall where I would like.
You don't want anyone to just. Yeah, but I also think it was because of what you went through.
Yeah, what I went
past,
through.
Yeah,
I couldn't trust people. Like sometimes I feel like because these other people were like friendly to our family, and then they would turn up like these other people when
to be something
take
else.
Advantage when I'm alone, and when there are people, they are acting like other like they are nice and stuff.
But I'm so happy to hear that you are healing and you're doing so well for yourself. So in your healing journey, in your healing process, what are the things that you are implementing in your life to heal and to change and to become a better version of yourself?
Well, I decided to go with what I'm passionate about. I love clothes.
Yeah.
I love fashion. I love styling. I love art. So I decided that, you know what? I'm going to take everything that I couldn't do because I was depressed, and I'm going to do it. It's never too late to do what you love.
Yes.
So yeah, right now I'm planning on having my own podcast.
Really?
And
that's nice.
I'll be vlogging mostly about clothes and style.
Okay.
Yeah, because I know that I'm talented on that. And
can you invite me to the podcast?
Sure. People have been telling me how good I am at clothes and stuff, and styling, mostly styling.
Yes.
Because the types of clothes that I wear, I don't think they are regular that you can like go through the streets and then find somebody. Yes. I just like dressing in this kind of way that really speaks about me on a particular day. Yes. Yeah, speaks about my mood, speaks about where I'm at in my head. So yeah.
So the podcast, it's gonna be about what? What are you gonna be discussing?
It's mostly vlogging. Excuse me. It's not a podcast. It's vlogging. There are two different things. Yeah, it's vlogging, not a podcast.
Also, you're gonna start vlogging.
Yeah.
And you're gonna be posting your content on TikTok
on TikTok
or
about
YouTube.
Food, because I'm doing hospitality. I'm doing culinary arts and stuff. I'll be talking about food. I'll be talking about clothes and styling. Yeah.
I'm so happy for you. I mean, I think happiness looks good on you.
Thank you. And also, I will be talking about how you can
overcome depression.
Yeah, overcome depression. Yes. I'll be talking about that a lot. Okay. Because I know there are a lot of people out there who really want to talk.
Yes, that's true.
Really
and they do not know how to talk, and they do not know who to talk to.
Yeah. So I just want to be there and talk to people and communicate with people who are going through it. Yes.
I do not know much about depression, and I do not want to advise you or the viewers on anything that I do not know. But I read somewhere, and I'm just going to read it out to you guys in case there's someone out there who's also going through the same. You've shared your story with us, but there are so many people out there who cannot. They do not have the opportunity, and they do not even have the guts. They do not have to share their stories with anyone. But I just want to let you guys know that depression isn't a war you win. It's a battle you fight every day. You never stop, never get to rest. It's one bloody fray after another. So you must give yourself a chance. That's all that I can say. And you must also forgive yourself. Because I hear that people sometimes tend to blame themselves, and they tend to think that depression is all about you just feeling okay today, and then tomorrow it comes.
You are down.
Yeah.
And the other day.
It's just, it's a roller coaster. It's an emotional.
Yeah.
It's hectic.
It's like that. It requires a whole lot of work for you to be where you're supposed to be.
Yeah.
Because like being depressed, it's hard.
It's difficult.
It is very difficult. You have to sit down and worry about things that you can't even control. Things that happened a long time ago.
Yeah.
Things that you couldn't even control at that particular time, they were happening. You see? Things, how people reacted to you. But what could you have done about it? Nothing. But then you are blaming yourself. That, no, maybe I should have done this. Maybe I should have been a good child. Maybe I was treated this way because I was like this. Maybe if I did this. But there was actually nothing you could have done.
So what advice would you like to share or give to our listeners or our viewers watching at home? Even if it's about depression, even if it's about rape, if it's about, I don't know, anything that you can tell or give an advice to the people watching us right now.
All I want to say is that whatever you are going through, please try in your life to think about other people. Look around you, man. because there are signs everywhere that this person is depressing, this person is going through it, this person is going through this. Look around. And if you see the signs, try to help. Sometimes you are going through it, but people are not there to listen. Try to listen. Eh? Listen to people. Just listen to them.
Pay attention to
pay
people.
Attention. I mean, other people depress not because they are going through it. They are depressing because like it's this thing that you are just worried inside you, man. You can't control it. Just lend an ear. Listen. Don't kill you. Listen to people. Because then people take drastic solutions like killing themselves, suicide and stuff. Because there was no one to listen. People only care about their own problems. So sometimes you have to monitor what's happening around. Yeah, and give a hand whenever you can. Yeah.
Well, thank you, Sibongile, for coming. Thank you for sharing your story with us. Thank you for pouring your heart out. I hope that your story helps someone else, and I hope that you get the healing that you deserve. It was nice talking to you, and it was nice listening to all your story. Ladies and gentlemen, that's it from us today. You had today's story was heavy. It was sad. It was touching. I cannot imagine what Sibongile is going through or what she went through, but I just do hope that she gets the healing that she deserves. And I hope each and everyone who is going through the same, or each and everyone who is going through dark times at this point in time, gets healing. Don't forget, guys, to subscribe to our YouTube channel at Reflo Pictures. And do not forget also to follow us on TikTok. Thank you guys for following us, and thank you guys for the support. We appreciate and we love you. This is Gina signing out. Bye.